Hello, my friends. Operator Starsky here. I'm really sorry. I literally just had a nap. I have to restart my brain with coffee. That's why I might be a bit slow tonight. But as always, guys, it's a big pleasure to stream for you. And today we will start traditionally with a small update from Ukraine, and not only Ukraine. Okay, so. As I mentioned today, Russians published a new video with beheading of a prisoner. Again, it's kind of gruesome. Like, they don't literally cut the head in the video, but they show a head of Ukrainian prisoner on a spike, and they brag about it. Basically, like ISIS or I don't know, Al Qaeda did back in the days. Russia yesterday lost a Tu-22 strategic bomber, which is a good update because those bombers are often used to strike Ukraine with cruise missiles like X-22, for example. And what's funny is that nobody shot down that airplane. It fell down itself. There is report that the crew unfortunately managed to eject. However, there's another update that brings us a bit more hope that hopefully one of them became a better person and didn't make it. Then we have update from oh my god, where is it? Mig, where are you? Here. So Russians published a video of striking Ukrainian airfields. Unfortunately, one of Ukrainian airplanes was destroyed. It's according to the spokesman of the Ukrainian Air Force. Even here in this video that Russians published, they call it Su-24, but in fact it was MiG-29. So Ukrainian Air Force unfortunately confirms that our MiG-29 was destroyed, but nobody died, nobody got injured, thank God. Another update comes from Lvov. Lvov is not Lviv, it's Lvov. It's a Russian city in Kursk Oblast where Russians accidentally lost their bomb FAB 500, and accidentally it happened over a Russian children playground. So we have a video from the ground. One of the Russian propagandists is standing next to the huge crater. It's enormous, actually. You will see it in just a moment. So, of course, traditionally for the Russian propagandists, they blame Ukrainian HIMARS. But one thing you should know about HIMARS, and I will pause this video so you could just observe the size of this crater, which is, I would say, good. How much is that? 20, 30, I would say good 30 meters in diameter. So HIMARS missiles that are used against Russians at this point, that were allowed to use, I believe they carry something around 90 kilograms or 180, 200 pounds of explosives. Like, they're not that big. FAB 500, on the other hand, carries 500 kilograms or approximately, it's more than 1,000 pounds of explosives, and that's exactly the power that can create such craters. You probably remember when in 2022 Russians hit maternity hospital in Ukraine, and they said that of course this hospital was like full of armed Nazi, but you probably saw the crater. Well, that crater was made using such bomb, and because we are talking about Russians, of course, such stupid things like, I don't know, crashing Boeings, crashing bombers, accidentally drop bombs and stuff like that. Of course, it will continue happening because Russia is cursed. And another one. This one is very, very important, my friends. All Russian channels suddenly started screaming about allegedly Ukraine preparing a terrorist attack on both nuclear power plants, Zaporizhian one and Kursk power plant, the Kurchatovsky power plant. So what they're saying is that Kiev is preparing to strike Kursk and Zaporizhian nuclear power plants to blame Russia in provocation, blah, blah, blah. So it's they claim that it's according to the results of interrogating Ukrainian prisoners. As we know, whenever Russia is blaming or accusing somebody in any sort of crime or whatever, or terrorist attack or anything else, it only means that they prepare it themselves. And another concerning fact is that Russian channels, as you can see, they don't even change the message. They literally copy-paste the same message across all kinds of Russian monitoring Telegram channels. Basically, I think Russians are indeed preparing some kind of terrorist attack on some of the nuclear power plants, maybe them both. Maybe using a missile, maybe using a drone, maybe because, again, those power plants are basically under Russian control. Maybe they will use some kind of explosive devices, and they already say that, my God, special warheads were already brought into place and prepared to strike those nuclear power plants. So we should really, really watch out, guys. That is like completely insane. You may not read amazing Russian language, but you may see that it's literally copy paste of the same message across Russian Telegram channels. Also today, Ukrainian forces hit important bridge in Kursk Oblast, in particular a bridge across same river. River is called Same. So the bridge across the same river was destroyed using a precision strike. Here you can see a screenshot from this video published by the Ukrainian armed forces, and this is how this bridge looks closely. This is the bridge that a Russian journalist was talking about, showing Russian columns moving down this bridge. And Ukrainian armed forces expressed their deep gratitude for that very footage and report to this Russian journalist, because it let them identify the bridge and destroy it. And there are two interesting updates that we have as a result of the strike. So first of all, Russians don't have any sort of their logistics stopped. The troops on the other side of the river don't have any supplies anymore. And another interesting thing is that there are rumors, okay, they're not confirmed, but there are rumors, there's such possibility, that approximately 700 Russian terrorists may be encircled very, very soon because of this particular strike. So we will keep our eye on it as well. Beautiful Russian war correspondent. I don't know, I feel a bit cringy when I call Russian propagandists war correspondents, but anyways. Russian so-called war correspondent Zhivov, absolutely beautiful Russian person, beautiful, threatens CNN journalists and Western journalists in general that Russians will be killing them. So in his Telegram channel, he posted this update. He says, I will translate it for you. Journalists of CNN entered the territory of Russia around the checkpoint Suja. We are identifying all the Western journalists who entered the territory of Russia. Nothing personal. We will kill you all. This is a screenshot from the Telegram channel of Russian war correspondent Zhivov, just so you could understand. And another interesting thing is that since the very, very beginning of Russian annexation of like Crimea and their hybrid war in Donbass, their journalists, like let alone the Russian hybrid troops, let alone Russian regular troops, but Russian journalists were there in Donbass, and they were there illegally because they never crossed like Ukrainian passport control before going to Donbass. They literally entered from the Russian territory. So they were there since 2014. I'm not sure if it legitimizes, like the proper response, the equal response regarding like Russians, but again, we are not Russians, okay? Thank fucking God we are not. I know I will go to hell for blasphemy. And anyways, Russian city of Sudzha. As you probably know, it's a city located in the Kursk Oblast of Ukraine. And bleeping insane. Yeah, absolutely, Kimberly, I do agree with you. So, city of Sochi is a small, like not city, it's like a small town in the Kursk Oblast of Ukraine. And we have a report that the statue of Lenin, because again, we are talking about like Russian territory, or in this particular case, formerly Russian territories. So there is this statue of Lenin, right? You can see it on the photo. And according to the recent reports, this statue vanished. Not sure what happened to it. Maybe it ran away. Maybe it escaped straight to St. Petersburg, or I don't know, neighboring oblast of Russia, the Belgorod Oblast. Anyways, nobody cares, but it's not there anymore. And this is something very interesting because, we noticed since 2014 that if there's a statue of Lenin, because unfortunately we had that crap in Ukraine as well for years. So we noticed that if there was a statue of Lenin in any particular city in Ukraine, and if it was removed or vanished, so there were absolutely no separatist uprisings there. This city was not captured by Russians, nothing like that. Everything is fine. It's like, like evil idol that if you remove it, everything is fine in this place. But there are statues of Lenin, unfortunately, in places like Donetsk, Luhansk. There's plenty of those statues in Crimea that were not removed. And basically, we can see the result of this. Unfortunately, those cities are temporarily under the Russian occupation. I'm sorry, I have to really start my brand because I had such a nice nap, my friends. Oh my God, it was like a bit raining, and because I had like several contusions and stuff, I react to changes of weather. It wasn't like that like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but Currently, it's like that. And I had like the sweetest nap I could have I don't know, over the past week, probably. It was really good, really good. I'm proud of myself. Regarding our small update on FSB, so what we know, and I will be translating for you, my friends, because unfortunately we don't have this in English. I am not sure where exactly you found that information online, probably from this screenshot from Insider Tea. I don't know. But it says Director of FSB Bortnikov discussed with Putin assassination of Ukrainian bloggers who fundraise for the armed forces of Ukraine, according to the Telegram channels. First of all, it was reported by the Kremlin, like pro-Kremlin resources, Putinist resources, but then they removed their posts, says Sternenko. And here we have Sternenko. Serhii Sternenko, for those who don't know, and I'm sure that if you're subscribed to Read the Ukrainian, if you saw his streams, you know exactly who Serhii Sternenko is. So currently, it's one of the most famous Ukrainian volunteers, Ukrainian charity volunteers in Ukraine. He also has his YouTube channel. I believe that you can see video with like subtitles. So what makes him famous is that literally every day thousands of drones, including FPV drones, are being delivered to the Ukrainian soldiers thanks to this man. This very man does enormous and very, very important job for Ukrainian armed forces. That's why in Ukraine, people like Sternenko, people like Serhii Pritula, they are enormously respected by all Ukrainians. Every single time there is, for example, drone strike or missile strike against Ukrainian cities, the citizens that are sitting in the bomb shelters, what they do is like they literally donate to Sternenko and Pritula charity, so they could find drones, deliver them to Ukrainian armed forces, and retaliate for our civilians, which really works. And all the enormous amount of footage that you could probably see from I don't know, all over internet, okay, YouTube, Telegram channels, those hundreds and thousands of videos portraying the latest moments of the Russian invaders shot on, the camera of FPV drone or surveillance drones. They were possible because of efforts of people like that, like Serhii Sternenko, Serhii Pritula, etc., etc. So, what else does this publication say? I tell you this, I tried to find any information about it on Russian resources. I really failed, unfortunately. I have just several sources like Serhii Sternenko, several publications in the media. So, of course, I decided to check them. And here it is mentioned that Aleksander Bortnikov, chief of FSB, discussed with Putin the issue of assassination of Ukrainian bloggers who collect huge fundraisers for FPV drones. The sources report that representatives of FSB during the meeting with President were talking about necessity of elimination of Ukrainian bloggers who collect big funds for FPV drones because due to their platform and on the first place due to the trust of Ukrainian population, they can easily and fast, in short time period, gather like enormous amounts of funds to buy those drones. In case of elimination, it would be really hard to supplant those bloggers, because the trust of the audience is a matter of not just one day. And considering the real threat for their life, their productivity will be considerably lower. According to the channel Insider T. So Sternenko says that in the beginning, Russian Putinist Telegram channels reported this update, they reported this news. Then they removed their posts, and only the posts on other resources remained. Also, before this, before Sternenko, Igor Lachenkov in his Twitter reported same situation, right? And Igor Lachenkov is another blogger and influencer. Sternenko said that there is absolutely nothing surprising that everybody who supports Ukrainian defense and is a public person is under threat, and such news are not scaring us. It's vice versa. They give us more motivation to deliver drones to the armed forces of Ukraine. So currently what they were saying is that according to sources, again, guys, I trust Sternenko because like he doesn't bullshit people, but I couldn't find like nothing that would confirm that except for several screenshots. FSB on the meeting with Putler, I don't think they would announce that unless they needed it. So it's like not just they wanted to eliminate Ukrainian bloggers, but they also want to... Why do they call them bloggers? Not like public activists, not like, I don't know, opinion maker. Why bloggers? I have an explanation though, because Russian FSB is afraid of bloggers. So not just they want to eliminate them, which to me seems like absolutely legit, but they want to also make it public. They want people to know about it. They want those bloggers to be activists be intimidated and scared. That is one explanation that I can see. Martin, please don't be scared to be a viewer. My God. Nothing bad will happen to us. I tell you this, my friends. I didn't really... I don't really think that, you know, the fact that FSB wants to, is intended to kill public people, assassinate like bloggers and stuff like that, like it's not a surprise, it's not a news for anybody. They were trying to do that many times in the beginning. As soon as the Russian invasion began in 2022, they introduced like a kill list, and a lot of public figures, a lot of public people, opinion makers, activists, Ukrainian patriots, known Ukrainian patriots, were there on the list, including, by the way, Bogdan, my friend from the Propaganda Study Institute. They were also there. And people like Max Levin, Ukrainian activist and journalist who was murdered in the area of Irpin, I believe, or Bucha, he was also there on the list. So they have the list. What Russians do well is they create lists of people they want to kill. It's like a good old Russian tradition since like 1937, okay? That's why it's not surprising, considering that, for example, they may know a location of a specific person. They may already introduce some kind of plan to eliminate this person. And that's why they were talking about necessity to assassinate Ukrainian bloggers. I would say that it looks completely legit. I would say that elimination of such important people like Serhii Sternenko or Pritula, I wish they will have like long years and good health. Of course, those guys are doing in extremely important job for Ukraine. I think that that would definitely be really, really bad for Ukrainian defense, because again, they're drones, and it's enormous work, it's enormous amount of work to collect funds through fundraising, and then buy those drones, deliver them to, like, you have to set all the logistics in order to be able to deliver them in time and deliver them regularly. And those guys are doing it regularly, which is very important. Like, on a daily basis, literally hundreds and thousands of FPV drones are being delivered to Ukrainian soldiers so they can kill Russian invaders. That's why that is something really, really concerning. Regarding other public figures and opinion makers, it's like this. I don't believe that people like I don't know, Jake Bro, for example. However, there is a risk though, because guys, Jake Bro, I believe in his recent, like in his birthday stream, he managed to gain quite an impressive sum for Ukrainian defenders. So yeah, there is a chance that he might be a target as well. But other people like, oh my god, whom do you know? Veteran Reacts? I don't think so. Me? I don't think so. Rick the Ukrainian? Again, there is a chance. Anna from Ukraine? I don't think that she will be also target number one. But even despite the fact that I don't consider myself or Anna or like Ryan Macbeth like targets number one, there is always a risk, because Russians would never talk about necessity of launching such assassination attempts if they had absolutely no information about location of the bloggers, and if they know a location of a specific blogger or several specific opinion makers, then they will start preparing a plan for elimination, and this takes some time, of course. So it's either they have everything set up, or they at least know the location of people. I'm sure that they know the location of like Sternenko and Pritula, because it's a public information. They have offices and things like that. So it's very easy to find them in Ukraine. It's harder to directly eliminate them in Ukraine, because security in Ukraine is nowadays much stronger than, for example, in Europe. In Europe, it's much easier to see a Kadyrovite from Akhmat battalion on a street than in Ukraine, unless he doesn't breathe. Okay, it's a fact because, for example, Akhmat Kadyrovites can easily move across Europe. They can fly to Middle Asian countries, which they often do because there's these big headquarters of Kadyrov that is often used to accommodate important guests, and they have to protect it physically. That's why Kadyrovites often fly to like Dubai or Saudi Arabia. They do it all the time. And for example, when we're talking about shooting in Charlie Hebdo, right? So you probably remember that several years ago, several good 10 years ago, I believe. Might be wrong. When did it happen? Shooting in Charlie Hebdo. Oh shit. Charlie Hebdo shooting. Ja, danke schön. No, I don't want to log in. Oh my god. Alle akzeptieren. So it happened in 2015. Yeah, almost 10 years ago. So that specific shooting was interesting for one reason. The executioners of this shooting, they were Chechens, or rather I would call them Kadyrovites. They came from Chechnya. They were armed with modern weaponry that is often used by Kadyrovite Spetsnaz. Again, it's according to the details that were public. It's according to the OSINT. So they have such opportunity, unfortunately. BR Bodin says Kadyrovites don't enter any zones with no Wi-Fi or internet connection, no live TikTok there. Yeah, I agree on that, but later they can upload their cringy shit, like, anyways. So what I wanted to say, my friends, there is always a threat, or rather a danger, of being eliminated by the FSB in case you are a pro-Ukrainian public figure. There is always such a threat. You don't have to wait for a message or announcement that comrade, tomorrow you will be eliminated. No, you don't have to wait about it. You have to be cautious. You have to stick to like absolutely primitive rules of safety. Okay. Make sure that like there are no strange, like, observe people around you 100% of the time. Observe people around you. When you exit the house, remember that you are in the orange zone, not in the green zone, not in the red zone yet, but in the orange zone. Keep high awareness. Make sure that there are no sketchy people following you into your house or whatever. Remain in the public places and things like that. Don't expose your details to the public regarding whereabouts of your children, regarding whereabouts of your job. It's not just, for people that are, I don't know, that are known, that have a big audience of listeners, of subscribers or viewers. It's just a bunch of primitive rules that we all must follow, regardless of who you are. This is something that will save your life, or at least will help you to get rid of all kinds of problems. Nowadays, in social media, we tend to publish everything. On YouTube, there was this project when people just, through OSINT, analyze somebody's, like, was it on MySpace? Facebook page, and they would learn everything about this person, and then would invite the person to like a studio and pretend they're like magicians, and that magician would say, so the number of your credit card is this and this, you met this and this person like several days ago, you had this and this drink and everything else. Guys, this is something very important to remember. Your personal security and safety is always important, not only on the internet, but generally on the street. Not only because you don't want to get assassinated by FSB, oh my god, FSB, but also because you want to avoid ugly situations with all kinds of people, because unfortunately, we're not always surrounded by good people, okay? Unfortunately, we're sometimes surrounded by people who don't know that they can be good. FSB are mostly like spies and recruiters, okay? They collect information. In most of the cases, that's what they do, like 90% of their time. They also produce like disinformation and fakes. They have different departments, but generally they collect information. They collect information, analyze information. They know exactly who we are, what we do, and stuff like that. In some cases, they know where to find us. Then they have GRU-GSH, and they have SVR, Service of External Intelligence. And those are nasty. GRU-GSH were those two assassins in Salisbury who poisoned a bunch of people with Russian-produced Novichok. They were also accused in assassination of Litvinenko and many, many, many other people, guys. So one interesting resource that I would like to show you today, just to remind you, because I received this question a lot. Okay, so here we have, and you probably remember this story. Russian defector, the pilot of Mi-8 helicopter, Maxim Kuzminov, или Kuzminov. Anyways, so there was a guy, this absolutely amazing Russian man who brought a helicopter, a Russian helicopter, to Ukraine, following announcement from Ukrainian president. So he brought a helicopter, he brought different secret documentation. Basically, he contributed a lot into ending the Russian war, right? And then he received asylum, and he went to Spain. So what happened to Maxim? Unfortunately, he was assassinated, and he was assassinated specifically because Russians considered him a traitor for obvious reasons, but also because Putin and Russian intelligence in general, they have like this unhealthy fixation on, like punishing traitors. Stalin was absolutely paranoid about traitors. He like killed everybody who surrounded him, and Putin is the same actually. And all of that freaking elite ruling terror Russia nowadays, they're the same. So they have this unhealthy fixation on elimination of like traitors and spies and everything else. And if there are cases like this, that is like a death wish. So they will definitely be hunting those people. And another reason is that because it was the first case, okay, there could be other cases like that. There could be, for example, pilots of like Tu-22 bombers, like literally landing in Ukraine. What led to his death? What led to his death, my friend? So, first of all, he didn't keep low profile, which was crucial for people like him. It was a matter of life and death, because if you are involved in such operations, you have to lie on the bottom, but not sleep with fishes, but try to survive. You have to go undercover. You have to like change your identity and disappear for the world, which is not that, it's not that easy, not that hard. But he didn't keep low profile. He was attending different bars and public places with Ukrainian diaspora, with Russian diaspora, etc., etc. He was like a very much publicly known person, okay? I think that half of Spain could tell where he lived, literally. It's bad. And it resulted in what we have. So he was shot, I believe, 6 times with a Russian Makarov pistol. Makarov pistol. This one, my friends. This is a weapon that I hate with all my heart because it sucks balls. It's a Soviet copy of Walther PPK, but the difference is Walther PPK is a legit weapon produced by conscious, sane Europeans, okay, by like normal persons, amazing inventors and stuff like that. This horrible shit, you cannot freaking shoot yourself using Soviet Makarov pistol. I wanted to say, believe me, I tried, but I would lie. But you cannot shoot yourself. It's freaking impossible. It's better to beat people with this shit instead of like shooting. Trust me, it's so bad. It's just so bad. And guys, I'm a bit triggered with this, but you should know that at distance of 25 meters, which is considered like effective range of using this handgun, maximum effective range is 50 meters. It's maximum range of so-called precise shooting. At a range of 25 meters, you will be really, really lucky if you will shoot in like the direction of the same hemisphere, you know, where the target is. In order to shoot my target at 25 meters with my PM, that was produced, guys, in 1990, okay? Back in the times when I served in the battalion of police, I had that shit. It was produced in 1990. First time we went shooting, and there's like my target. So I do several shots and I come up to the targets. There's like nothing, like I didn't hit it in 20 meters. I shot a freaking drone at like 150 meters from AK twice, apparently. And I'm like, what? And everybody like, oh, you suck. I suck, motherfucker. I shoot since I was 4. My father would take me to the officer's shooting range in Kiev, in like not only in Kiev, like back in Honduras. Anyways, I was shooting better than some of the like Soviet officers, and everybody were like, "What the fuck did you do with your kid?" And I enjoyed it. And I'm like, "Oh, what?" So my handgun was that bad. Already later, I realized that in order to like hit the target from like 20 meters, okay, I have to aim like behind the target and like to the left and way lower. And then I will probably, even shooting, just aiming, using the barrel was impossible. Again, for unknown reason. I don't know. Maybe it had like a bad barrel, crooked barrel. I have no idea. But it was that bad. Literally. Sorry for taking like 5 minutes of your time for this crazy rant. Guys, if you think that getting this pistol will satisfy your collector's desire, just freaking spend those money, helping Ukraine, buying drones, okay? Because this shit is ridiculous and bad. Walther PPK is as good as this shit is bad, okay? Oh, and Bremner's Ghost says, call me old-fashioned, but give me a Browning HP. Absolutely. Colt 1911. That is like the best thing you can see. You can find. Anyways, Russians love that shit, of course. Like, of course they do. But even Russians are switching from that ugly creation of perverted Soviet mind to something new. We were talking about it on my previous stream. Does Ukraine... Does Ukraine make a very good? Yes, my friend. For example, we have Fort 14. So this stuff, this is what the Ukrainian reconnaissance is using nowadays. Our guys in my brigade used it, our reconnaissance troops use them. They are really good. They use 9x18mm round, same as Makarov. And you can also attach a sound suppressor to this handgun. And it's really precise. You can also set the aim. The aim in Makarov pistol, my friends, you can only tune it using a freaking hammer and the file. I shit you not, okay? All right. Glock guy, Andy Wuho. I shot Glock. It wasn't bad. I used to shoot Glock several times. I see why it's so popular. But personally, I would prefer like a revolver, like this big Smith Wesson, like something from Dirty Harry. The copy is talking inside of me. So. Returning to our topic, why did Russian pilot get assassinated in Spain? I have to smoke after this stupid rant. Why did he get assassinated in Spain? He didn't keep low profile. He was drinking and having fun inside of people he was not supposed to have fun. Inside community of people, he was not supposed to have fun, like Russian diaspora and Ukrainian diaspora, because people don't keep secret. But the most decisive thing that led to his death, my friends, was the fact that he had a girlfriend in Russia, And he attempted to bring this girlfriend to Spain. So he messaged her and he told her that he wants to see her in Spain. And after that, he was found dead. So he was shot 6 times, as I already mentioned, using this very PM pistol of Makarov. I call it pistol of masochist. Okay, and he was also driven over by a car, which was a clear message that not only you will be assassinated for betraying your motherland, you will also get humiliated, mutilated, and things like that. Which I would say is a completely Grugasha way of doing things. Maybe FSB, but I believe Grugasha, those are like those big goons who assassinate people with different things, different equipment, whatever they have. Okay, this story with the girl, it's such a widespread stuff. One story I forgot to tell you from the times when I was a cop in 2015. We had this Russian VKontakte network, right? It was like a social media like Facebook, only you could share stolen music. There was a lot of porn of like all sorts, all sorts. And of course, because of that, Russians absolutely loved this social network. I think that it still exists. And what we used to do, so first of all, we used this social network in order to conduct all-scene investigations and find Russian terrorists, their friends and friends of their friends, make connections between them. And also we used to like lure Russian terrorists to the Ukrainian territory, or at least we attempted to do that. Me personally and my team, because we didn't have much time to do that, we weren't really successful in like literally bringing and arresting Russian terrorists on Ukrainian-controlled territory, but we had some really good time. So what we did, we made a lot of accounts of women with like stolen photos, okay, and I was like the mind. I was the mind behind the texts and messages, and I would contact Russian terrorists and communicate with them, okay. And that were like accounts of girls from like Kurakhova, for example, right? And then we had a girl in my team. Her call sign was Kroha, babe. Her call sign was Babe. Just realized it. So she, I could not say that she met like my standards of, yes, I have standards, I have taste. But she had like the sexiest voice I know. She really did. And whenever I heard her on a radio, she would go, Jedi, Commander wants to see you in the headquarters. I would run to the headquarters really, really fast. So, because she had this natural feature that was absolutely fantastic, she had absolutely ridiculous task of talking to the Russian terrorists. So they would literally call her and she would talk to them and convince them to come like incognito to the Ukrainian controlled territory, meet them, and then instead of her, we would meet them. But again, because we didn't have much time, we only launched this operation like a week before we left, before our deployment finished. But because she talked to those, like, I remember I was literally sleeping in the next room in my sleeping bag, and through my sleep I would hear her in the next room chatting on the phone, like with separatists, with like Russians, you know, with like Kadyrovites, with whatever. And I was always giggling at her because I know that after those talks, she would go out and she would go, Jedi, I need it. And I'm like, I get up, I'm like, okay. And I go and I just hug her. She's like, thank you. I needed that. So yeah, I believe that she received some additional award for sacrificing her mental health. But that's what we did. And we managed to detain 2 pro-Russian separatists on the controlled territory, where like it was a successful operation in this case. Not like combat Russian mercenaries, but local separatists who supported all that crazy Russian hybrid invasion. So it worked. Russians use it too, every single time. We were going on a deployment, and my guys, and we're literally like sitting in the same bus, okay? And my guys are like, oh, look, I have a message from this chick. And the guy in another end of the bus is like, oh, I'm speaking to her too. And it turned out that we all spoke to like the same girl who asked them the same question, like, oh, tell me about your best friends, tell me where you're going now, tell me what you're doing, you know. They were collecting intelligence using fake accounts, just like us, and they still do. There was another case. Let me see if I can find it, because we talked about it with Rick the Ukrainian, but he doesn't remember this. Since Svященника FSB захоплений. My God. Сын священника. It was like update as of 2015, 2017. I don't know where do those news keep just, vanishing. But there was a crazy story back in those days. I believe it was between 2015 and 17 maybe, or 18. So there was a son of Ukrainian priest, Ukrainian cleric. And he had disabilities. I believe he either couldn't move well, like or talk well, something like that. He had like a lot of problems, like with his health, organs, his skin and stuff. So he met a girl online, and I'm not really sure if she was from Belarus or Russia. But again, it's a legit story. I just don't want to waste your time searching for it. Anyways, it's in Ukrainian, but he went there. I believe it was like in Belarus. Like for some reason, I remember that, like in this area of my head, I remember that it was in Belarus. So he went to Belarus to meet this woman. And when he arrived, he was captured by FSB as a like spy and ninja and assassin and what. So they blamed him of anything you can possibly imagine, and they kept him in the prison for quite a long time. And I saw his photos. Before being captured, he didn't really look well. Trust me, he had a lot of problems with health. But after he was captured, I was literally thinking, like, you bastards, what are you doing to a human being, And this guy, he was young. He was something, I don't know, maybe like 20 years old, maybe younger. He was naive, he was stupid. Of course, he never had a girl, and there was this woman he was talking to, and of course, he told her like all kinds of personal information, and he naively thought that she was a real person. So this is how he was captured. Again, he was a completely civilian guy with plenty of health problems, and Russians detained him. That is another thing. So as soon as this Russian pilot called his girl in Russia, my God, guys, like, what's the problem? Like, I understand everything, but there are so many people around. Like, why are we so stupid sometimes? I have no idea. So that was his probably biggest mistake. Guys, the summary of today's stream, please be aware. Okay, keep situational awareness at 100% of times. Only relax when you're home, okay? When you're outside, remember that it's an orange zone, anything can happen. Always be prepared. Don't tell your personal information, like whereabouts of your family, like where you work, addresses, anything like that, your contact information that can lead to exposing your location, things like that. Preferably use VPN, like NordVPN, sponsor of today's I'm just kidding, guys. I use it like for real, but not advertising. Use VPN, of course. It's very, very important. Have double authentication on all of your services, and I'm talking about not just having your password, but also having your password protected. So when you enter your password, you have to either press a button on your gadget, like some different gadget, or receive SMS and enter code, okay? It's very much inconvenient, but it will save you in 90% of cases. And 90 is better than 0. This is very important thing. Always be aware. Just to remind you, there is an ongoing war out there. And it's not limited just to Ukraine. In terms of information, this war is continuing in your country, 100%. If you are in like top 6 of countries that are watching me now, which is like United States, Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, Sweden, Germany, and other European countries, if you're among those people, Russian disinformation, Russian informational warfare is being waged in your country already, which is, as I already mentioned, part of the Russian plan. It's not just cause, it's because it has a purpose, and it's a military purpose. And we are unfortunately at the state of war. Maybe we can call it like World War III, But it's a different war than it was like in 1940s. Okay, it's a completely different war. Currently, it's primarily it has a shape of hybrid war, but it's a war. It's a military action prepared by military personnel. PSYOPs are used by military personnel, and PSYOPs are being conducted in your countries as well. That is something to remember, guys. Always be careful, always watch out. 100% of awareness, 360 degrees of awareness. You gotta watch your back. I'm not trying to like intimidate you, okay? I'm not saying that you will like FSB will come to your place and kill you with like I don't know what can they kill you with, like a tea, or make you drink like bad vodka and die or whatever, choke you with valyanki or shapka ushanka, beat you up with balalaika until you die. No. In most cases, it won't happen, but you should always be safe, secure, and aware, okay? You should always be careful, because there's not only FSB out there, there are different people, as I already mentioned. Not all of them know that they can be good. Alrighty, I think I will answer your questions now. I ran out of coffee. Oh my god, Ellie, help me. Ellie, help me, please. I ran out of coffee. Okay. What about when you announced meet me at the ABBA Museum? Not so smart either. I absolutely agree with you on this one, my friend. It was not smart at all. It was announced literally a day before, I believe, a day before meeting. And so Russian assassins, in like 90% of cases, they need some time to prepare. They need to assess the location. They need to spend some time following the target, learn like its ways of approaching or leaving the area and things like that. Learn all the templates of its behavior. And only then, when they're 100% sure that they can eliminate their target, they will execute the assassination. Okay, so in this particular case, it was in public place, and it was announced not too long before the meeting itself. And I really had some security back then in the area, so it was okay. But I completely agree with you that it was a stupid idea. But it was still cool, and I was really happy to meet all the guys. Where can I get a microphone like that? So, in the chat, there is my good friend with the nickname Snow Chains. And Snow Chains presented this microphone to me, I believe, last year. And it's the most kick-ass present that I could dream about. Is there still вкусная и точка in this oblast, in Kursk Oblast? I don't know if they even had like McDonald's in Suja, because I think they only had McDonald's before it turned into Вкусная точка. I think they had McDonald's in like bigger cities. Sudzha is a town. Like, it's not a village. It's a like legit town, but it's not as big as Kursk. Okay. Sudzha is approximately the size of Avdiivka. And even though Russians are bullshitting everybody that Avdiivka is the size of Australia, but it's not true. Orcs trying to outdo ISIS. Yeah, absolutely. They, I would say they already did. Remember, I told you about Russian unexplainable fixation on, like revenge, punishing traitors and things like that, even if they reside in a different country. But check what Wagnerites did. Wagnerites were known for killing people with like sledgehammer. Of course, let alone like beheading, castration, and things like that. Does FSB still use poison as preferred method to get rid of target? Again, the question is if it's FSB or GRU Gesha or external intelligence service. So it could be either of those. But they still use poisons, they still use heavy metals, and I'm talking not about Iron Maiden or AC/DC. I'm talking about things like mercury and stuff like that. Those things are very, very bad for your health. Are the Russians gaining significant territory in Donetsk? It looks they're advancing steadily. They do advance steadily, indeed. They gain success in different settlements, but you should also understand that Ukraine is extremely big. And their success, even though they have tactical success like in 5 different settlements a day, but their success is extremely small, considering the temp of their movement. We're not talking about kilometers a day. As it happens already for 2 years, we're talking about like maybe 100 meters a day. There's this snail theory that I explained last year. You probably remember that. How is Budanov's wife doing? Yeah, that's exactly the case. She was poisoned with heavy metals that can be both toxic, radioactive, basically lethal. Russians do that a lot, and thorium, for example. So I don't really know how his wife is doing. I hope that she does well, but she's alive, thank God. That's all I know. But the Russian terrorists, they often use this to eliminate their targets. Who is doing these beheadings? So that is literally degenerate Russians from 155th Brigade of Russian Marines. This is how this terrorist group is called. We identified the units. I think it's just a matter of time before we have all those terrorists who committed this crime also identified. Because this is something that we always do. We already identified plenty of Russian war criminals who committed crimes in like Bucha and Irpin, so we will find them all. Do you know how was Budanov's wife poisoned? I don't really know the details, but I know that it requires just tiny amount of the poison to be consumed. You don't need to drink like a whole cup of it. It can be just like tiny amount that will start ruining your body from within, and considering that it's highly toxic, it's bad. How can it be that Russians still don't understand who Ukrainians are? Sternenko won't be intimidated. Neither will you. Do they still think that Ukrainians are Russians? I will show you one screenshot from the Russian. I think it was like either 4chan or something like that, like either Russian version of 4chan. Just give me a second, please. I accidentally found it like today. Yeah, here it is. Can I show it on the screen? Oh, thank you so much. Sorry for that. Let me see. Okay, come on, save image. Thank you. So again, I don't even need to translate it for you guys because it's in English. You can literally read it. Okay, so basically they say Kursk is it's a post made by a Muscovian degenerate. Kursk is literally the shittiest part of Russia. They were practically culturally Ukrainian prior to the special military operation. Seeing how fast they've bent over to accept the shows how treacherous they really are. F them, they weren't real Russians anyways. And a lot of people criticized me for calling Putin Nazi. You know, first of all, you should read Russian ideology of Ruski Mir, Russian world, the only God's chosen nation with its own path, you know, the only true church, one nation, one God, one Reich, you know, so that is like complete copy paste from Mein Kampf and a bit snatched from Doctrine of Fascism of Mussolini, but generally it's literally Hitler's Mein Kampf, produced by Dugin, by the way. Tucker Carlson admires Dugin, I believe, because he's the same. And they weren't real Russians. So real Russians basically are whoever around the world who obeyed and assimilated with the Russian society, became degenerate, and basically started hating everybody else and became a Russian Nazi. So this is basically real Russian. People living in the Kursk Oblast on the bordering territory, they were not like true Russians, you know, as well as like Buryats, Yakuts, because true Russians generally consider them like biological waste. That's why we can see so many of those invaders toasted in Ukraine. But Russians are like legit Nazi. They care about stuff like race. They care about stuff like my God, like religion. Yeah, you know, but generally they care about preserving, you know, their breed, the race. You know, it's very important for Russian people. That's why they advertise it so much. I remember all those insanely cringy Russian ads about American guy who cannot find a woman to celebrate Christmas with. That's why he goes to Russia, where he finds all kinds of racially perfect white women, conservative and orthodox, and like he's happy. So this is something you should know about them. Guys, I don't give a slightest damn if you are white nationalists supporting Ukraine or if you are Japanese supporting Ukraine. I respect everybody. I am white, a bit gypsy, okay, but generally white. I don't think that you can tell that even that I'm a bit gypsy, just a bit. I'm white myself. I was baptized as Orthodox, but I'm a Ukrainian, and I'm talking about facts. You know, Russian dictator Putin, also known as Huilo, is white. It's fact, and he's Orthodox. It's fact. Doesn't mean that if you're white or Orthodox, you are definitely Nazi. Like, I'm not saying that. But in case of Putin, that is exactly the case. Okay. So why doesn't Biden remove weapons restrictions right now? Sometimes I really think that he's being blackmailed, like literally. Sometimes I do literally think so. I have no idea. What is the average education level in Russia? I will show you something that will probably not answer your question, my friend, but will make you laugh, okay? Because it nearly cracked me up today. So I made this community post regarding the Russian Department for Social Protection, or at least what was left of it, even though it wasn't bombed. Okay, and I decided to check other places in Suja. So maps. Show me the Google Maps. Okay, Sarah, Sonia. What's the name of the woman? What's her name? Oh my God, I never used her services anyways. Maps Google.com. Okay, Suja. So I want to show you this because it's incredibly funny. Suja, Kursk Oblast, okay. School. You gotta love this one. You gotta love it more than I do. So, for example, here we have a primary school in Suja. You open this chat, you check. Oh, fuck. Oh my, that is something that I was looking for. Thank you, Siri. Finally. I don't see my kids, studying there. But then there's this photo. So what I discovered was that as soon as Suja became one of the towns of the Kursk Oblast of Ukraine that were liberated from the Russian regime, Ukrainian users, those crazy people, I love them, those positively crazy people, they changed all kinds of photos in the Russian. My God, in the Russian. Oh my God, I had it right here. Suja, Shkola. Oh my God. Shkola. They changed photos, here, Sujansky boarding school. Okay, you open this, and you can see those pictures. So they instantly added a lot of legit content, right? Like Ukrainian menus in the restaurants, like, oh my God, where was it? Like this one. No, not this one. Come on, guys. I saw it. I saw it myself. School, like Sujan School of Arts. This Barvinok. And guys, this photo, this one, okay, this is actually, this is my university. This is Kyiv National University of Culture and Arts. TikTok faculty, be in trend. You see, guys, this is why Ukrainians will win, because we're so cool. Like, look. Oh my God. So, generally, my friend, this is regarding the level of the Russian education. What about other YouTubers like Jake Bro? Are they in risk of being targeted by KGB for assassination? Again, I cannot state that it's like 100% they are in danger. They're military, and I'm sure that they know what to do. You know, the people like Jake Bro, they do care about their own security. Trust me on it, but. It's all about the scale, because, for example, the fundraisers like Jake Bro does, they are big, they are incredible, they are important, but they are not as regular as in case of Sternenko. It's all about regularity. It's literally, the drones that are provided by Sternenko and Serhii Sternenko, for example, they literally help to keep the front line. They are that very tool that physically removes Russian invaders from Ukrainian, well, not soil, but airspace at least. And fundraisers that are made by my bro Jake and everybody else, they are also important. They also do the same thing, but comparing to those fundraisers, those are regular. Those are like it's a mechanism that was set up already. It's going. It's running every day. You know what I'm talking about. So I cannot say that this one is more important than what Jake does, because Jake does amazing job, as well as everybody, like all the pro-Ukrainian YouTubers. But according to Russian military staff that analyzes situation, yada yada, that is their primary target. People like Sternenko and Serhii Sternenko and other charities that regularly deliver drones to the front line on a daily basis in like hundreds. So it's all about the scale. Again, I don't want to say that Jake should relax, but again, he's my bro. I care about him. He must be aware of the situation, and I'm sure that he is. Like, he's a military. He knows what to do with security. You know. I don't think Putin is white. He looks a bit Mongolian. I don't really care about like his race. He does look a bit Mongolian, but Russians generally never refer to themselves as Mongolian. Russians usually refer to themselves as like white, white Russians, as in one of those interviews that I showed on my channel. Is it true that Baltic states ready to send troops to Ukraine or false? Dab, I didn't hear about it. I don't have legit confirmation of this. This one is very important from Carlos. In case of negotiations, what would be Ukrainian reaction if Russians do not want to get back Russian occupied territories by giving back the occupied territories in Ukraine? This is not impossible, because Russians are already being prepared by their propagandists, and it was mentioned today several times in several monitoring channels that I saw. They are already being prepared that it's like bordering territory, Kursk, we don't really need that. It's like only Untermenschen live in Kursk. Again, they're not real Russians. Like, we don't need that shit. We need like ruins of Bakhmut. We need Donbass, Crimea, Kursk. Who needs Kursk? It was so freaking cringy. It's literally, there's a bunch of Russian propagandists who literally retransmit Kremlin's agenda. And they were like, Kursk, meh, like, we don't really need it. Forget about Kursk. Like, we have so many lands, we have so many oblasts. We're like the biggest country in the world. It was really cringy, really, really cringy. But this is reality. I don't really know about the response that we might have. Again, like, Kursk was Ukraine once, but this is something that we can expect, like, for real, that Russians would just abandon that territory. Impact, nothing happened to Jake. Thank God. He's in good health, everybody's fine. We were just discussing whether FSB may be hunting known people, like famous people, big opinion makers, who fundraise money for Ukrainian armed forces. Because, for example, on his birthday stream, Jake Pro raised like fantastic funds for the Ukrainian armed forces, for drones and equipment. So we were discussing whether they might be a target. And the answer is everybody can be their target. That's why we should all be prepared. It's not necessarily that they are after us already, like, roaming the streets, but we should all be cautious and careful and care for our own safety, safety of our relatives, our friends, people that are close to us, not just because of FSB, but because it must be our everyday's behavior, our normal behavior, to be aware. Did you guys already have that Ukrainian who supposedly sabotaged the Nord Stream pipeline? So I think it can be like Medvedchuk, it can be whatever, because like those people are technically Ukrainians. Like every single pro-Russian separatist that is fighting on Donbass against Ukrainian armed forces, technically it's a Ukrainian person. So unfortunately, we don't have this person yet, not as far as I know. I bet it was Medvedchuk. Has anyone ever seen Pudler speaking English in a video from 20 years ago begging to have the Olympics in Russia? He sounds like such a little girl. I like in this part of my head, I think that I remember something like that. I remember that. I remember his conversation with Obama when they forgot to turn off the mics, and Obama promised Putin to be like more flexible, and we're like looking at that crazy shit. Like, what the hell is that? How many children does guys? I respect Obama. He's a great guy in terms of communications, but I like if you are trying to be like friend with Putin or generally Russian fascists, you're effed big time. You are effed. How many children does Putin have, and where are they? So I believe I've heard about like two daughters. I've heard about two daughters. One of them lived in Europe and studied in Europe. Another one, I believe, lived and probably studied in Japan. At this very moment, they're both in Russia, again, as far as I remember, and one of them either will be assigned or has been already assigned to a state service. Not military service, but generally in like Council of Valenki and Balalaika. What are the chances of capturing the 155th Marine Brigade? Yeah, there are such chances because we already have a lot of cases of capturing Russian rapists and murderers. Do you remember that crazy story, 2022? And I must say, guys, there's a lot of people that I first saw in the chat during like my very, very first live stream, and I still keep seeing you today. Guys, you must know that I appreciate you staying with me for such a long while, because I feel that we really became close friends with you, which I appreciate. So you probably remember my video from, I believe, 2022, when there was this call intercepted from a Russian rapist who explained the crimes that they committed in Ukraine to his wife, and she said, "Well, at least use condoms." Bykov or something like that, I think was his last name. I might be wrong. Yeah, and his wife said, "At least use condoms, when you rape Ukrainian women." And fucker got captured by Ukrainian armed forces. That is something I remember. Like, it's probably one of the biggest cases. So there are such cases. There were even cases when Russian paratroopers who fought in Hostomel were captured. There's even interview with them. So of course there's a chance. And I believe that karma works. Karma works as long as there are tough people ready to help karma, I thought Putler was actually gay and only married women for political reasons. So, my friend, it's a bit different. You probably remember Litvinenko. If you don't, I will just... I will just show you this man. So this was an FSB agent who deterred to the UK. again, as far as I remember. And he was one of the biggest witnesses. He would testify a lot regarding Putin, regarding his behavior, regarding his agenda and things like that. So he got poisoned, right? I believe they have his photo. Here he is. So he got poisoned, and unfortunately, of course, he died. But he died shortly after he announced that he's gonna publish the information on Putin that he had regarding Putin being a pedophile. And as soon as he announced this, he got assassinated. So that is something you should know and remember. Any new news from Kursk? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Russian contract soldier made a video. No, that's not interesting. That's not interesting. Russian war correspondent threatening. No, it's not interesting. Nothing as of this moment. However, so remember this announcement that I was talking about regarding the Ukrainian attack on nuclear power plants. So we already have another message from the same news agency in Russia, Itartas. They say, the masters of the Kyiv regime. Fuck, what do you mean Kyiv regime? Like, we were elected democratically, you idiots. However, I don't think that they know what democracy is anyways. So they must be serious regarding the Ukrainian preparation of the provocation using the dirty bomb. Holy crap, I didn't hear about dirty bomb since probably 2023. Or like late 2022. Dirty bomb! Ukraine is preparing dirty bomb! So this is according to Russian ambassador Rodion Miroshnik. Хозяева Киевска, like masters of the Kiev regime. I mean, he probably talks about like about Bangladesh, because everybody knows that Ukraine is Bangladeshi puppet, right? So, anyways, guys, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding a lot because I ran out of coffee. Not much information regarding this, unfortunately, but Rob M., have you seen Putin kissing a boy's belly? I'm not sure if YouTube will allow me to post it, but just Google it, okay? You will be impressed. What about Zolkin? By the way, Dmitro Karpenko will publish tomorrow this video about captured Russian soldier who called, his parents, and his parents rejected him and stuff. His mother was saying that it's not Roma. So tomorrow you will be able to see the full interview, hopefully, on channel of Dmitro Karpenko. I'm dying to see it myself. Like, I'm literally waiting to see it. So please make sure to check it out. And today, I think it's a good idea to discuss, is it Roma or not Roma? Please let me know in the comments. I'm not sure how to make this, like little poll in the chat. Roma or not Roma? Dear moderators, if you know how to do it, please help me. Roma or not Roma? This is the question we all want to know. Did his parents ever... that's what I want to know. Like, literally, I want to see it more than I wanted to see, like, gummy bears when I was, like 5-year-old boy, and I wanted to know, like, what will be the resolution of this epic fight between gummy bears and their evil adversaries. Can we say for sure that this recent Ukrainian offensive is actually going to draw forces away from the east-south of Ukraine? We already have a lot of proofs that Russians brought quite a few of their units from east and south of Ukraine, including 484th, I believe, regiment, or 74th regiment that was operating in Kharkiv, including Petnashka, hybrid Russian/separatist unit that was operating in Donetsk. So they're drawing quite some forces from Ukraine, which is a good sign, because they know exactly that they need to keep so much forces on a specific span of the front line, because this is something that gives them the edge. Like, they don't need like too many of them, but just enough, to keep this constant pressure on the Ukrainian forces. So if they remove a bunch of them, this pressure will collapse. Same with the situation in Kursk. They know that they will need to concentrate a lot of troops there. I believe the difference between Russian and Ukrainian troops in different spans of the front line, like during Battle of Avdiivka, during Battle of Rubizhne, during Battle of Bakhmut, was usually like 9-10 to 1. Like 9-10 Russian battalion tactical groups against 1 Ukrainian. So they would need to bring as much units to Kursk Oblast, but they should also understand the approximate size of Ukrainian army operating in Kursk Oblast, which they don't really know. And this is something funny, because today I saw like Russian propagandists. It was on Kazansky's channel. So Russian propagandists were blaming, like literally cursing each other, because they were lying all this time. Probably I will talk about it tomorrow. They were lying all this time about Ukrainian army losing, about like millions of Ukrainian men, dying, and then like Ukrainian women and children in the trenches and stuff like that. And all this resulted in Ukrainian army literally attacking Russia on Russian territory. And they were mad so much. And this is something that I like about, this phenomenon of disinformation, because this is something that fucked up all the Russian operation, all the Russian blitzkrieg in February 2022, when they literally expected that Ukraine is like ruined, Ukrainian army doesn't exist, Ukrainian people hate Ukrainian regime, which also doesn't exist, because Ukrainians didn't, like, we don't have regime. We elected those people, like ourselves, like, using democracy, using elections. And Russians were convinced that as soon as their land helicopters in Hostomel, we would just go out, hug, and say, thank you so much, Russian brothers, for liberating us from those nasty Western Ukrainians that are not even like Ukrainians, because we don't exist. We are all Russians, and we like obey and pledged. Yeah, for sure. So they fooled themselves in 2022, and with big assistance of amazing people like McGregor, Tucker Carlson, and all other degenerates, they fooled the rest of the world, and they fooled themselves again. Because when you keep lying for such a long time, eventually you fool yourself for some karmic reasons. That's exactly what happened, and that's why it was really funny to see them, like literally being so mad, accusing each other. Like, we all lied, and now what we see, Ukraine is attacking. But on the other hand, guys, Hitler was also being taken, like we didn't take Hitler alive, but he was also being taken in Berlin, right? Nobody cared about escalation. Don't use long-range weapons on SS. It's bad. It may lead to, I don't know. What does Roma mean? It literally means Roman. Roman is long version of the name. Roma is a short version. Roma. Do you think they will push up to the Belarus border to secure it? That is possible, because currently mustached potato man, also known as Lukashenko, he behaves in a very, very nervous way, like he's losing it. And there is a risk that he may commit a really, really bad mistake by trying to attack Ukraine from the Belarusian territory. This might happen. So we should be prepared, but his army is like, it's nonsense. It's like, you saw like Belarusian Spetsnaz people, trying to do those human pyramids and other crazy stunts that I could not even, comprehend completely. So they won't be like a big problem. They will be, of course, a problem, but not a big problem, not a serious concern, not tide changing. On the other hand, of course, like, I don't know, what does it take to make like this giant human pyramid? I mean, for example, imagine like this Belarusian Spetsnaz in the field, and they're losing their drone, and then they go, we need to observe from an altitude. Okay, we need to observe the territory from an altitude. Like, but we don't have drone. And the Spetsnaz is like, but we have people. And they build this, human pyramid, and the dude is like standing there with a flag and observing situation. It's so cool. Russian Spetsnaz. I have a question for your leader. Since Russian land are occupied by Ukrainians, is this not Ukraine? Thus, weapons can be used. So there are rumors, again, that I cannot confirm completely, but there are rumors that literally none of the long-range weapons are allowed to be used by Ukrainians against Russians, because there are threats from Biden's administration that the military support will stop, which I don't believe really. But some restrictions are there, okay? So apparently it's because we were not allowed to use long-range weapons on the Russian territory. We were only allowed to use weapons with smaller range that cannot reach targets like Russian air bases, for example. Ukrainian armed forces decided to just, physically go there and from a distance that allows striking those bases, perform those those strikes. Which sounds so badass. Hasn't Belarus already handed most of their arms to Russia? That's the thing, my friend. I'm not sure they even have enough to defend. I think I recently I think I saw Yemelyan from Pskov on Reddit recently. He did not look well. Why does Putin hate whales so much? I don't know, my friend. But I know that Putin hates the UK in general, because British people, according to my friend Jonathan from Silicon Curtain, British people are completely immune to Russian bullshit. That's why he hates you guys so much. And that's the reason, by the way, why... I'm not sure if you know about this one. So there are Russian bloggers, right? Like Russian combat bloggers, the general who threatened to kill CNN journalists. There are Russian bloggers, like different reporters and yada yada. So recently, Russian authorities, and I'm talking about Russian regime, they became really mad that those bloggers were criticizing them. So what they decided? They came up with the idea of registering all Russian bloggers. If you have audience that is bigger than 1,000 subscribers, you have to provide your personal information to the authorities, like FSB and yada yada. Which I find absolutely freaking amazing. I knew that there is no freedom of speech in Russia, but at the same time, I can see that Russians are trying to control, Kremlin is trying to control everything completely. Even bullshit bloggers, I don't know, Alexei Melchikov and shit like that, 13, and those motherfuckers. So even they will have to provide authorities with their personal information, addresses, contacts, literally everything. It's so fun. Do you know why YouTuber inside Russia was demonetized? I have a version. So YouTube demonetized all the Russian YouTubers that were receiving monetization from their YouTube videos. So if you are using my version, okay, it's just my opinion. If you are using Russian bank, okay, or your country of residence was defined as Russia, then you would have your monetization canceled. Apparently that is the case. Apparently that's what happened. I really hope that he will be able to fix it, even though I don't really follow him, but I hope that he will be fine. I really hope that Sanctioned Ivan is fine as well. I gotta ask him, by the way, because that's something I'm worried about. Can we switch to food soon? Let's switch to food. And I see that like half of my viewers will disappear from online instantly. Okay, let's talk about food. The other day, I was depressed because my favorite sushi place closed until the end of the month because of the vacation. So I don't really know what to do. But yesterday, I went to, my God, where were we? We were in Dusseldorf, and there was this train sushi, okay? There's like this thing that moves, and they make sushi and put them on this stuff, and it like slowly like drives in front of your face. And I realized why people like it so much, because you don't overeat, you take exactly what you like. Plus, not necessarily you have to order things. Sometimes it's really cool if, I don't know, if you can try something new. And I really, really like that one. And it was fresh. It was so fresh. Running sushi. Yeah, something like that. But it's cool, actually. I found this place. I remembered this place. It's on my map now. I hope I will be visiting it a lot in the future. Wait. I'm eating. Wait a second. Oh my God! Why? Thanks, buddy. Where was the comment? It ran away. Oh my God. I lost the comment, unfortunately. We have a sushi place here that does the same thing, but in little boats on a little river. Oh, that is so cute. Are there like tiny boats, or like, like proper boats, the big one? I need something the size of Titanic, probably. Starsky, have you ever been to the Netherlands? I've been to the Netherlands probably a dozen times this year. And last year, I think I've been to the Netherlands once in October. I've been to The Hague. Conveyor belt. Thank you, Katana. That's the word. Thank you so much. Promise me a certain bridge to Russia is blown up. You have my word on that, my friend. If our Ukrainian armed forces don't do that, sometime in the future, I will definitely do that myself. Even like after 20 years after the war, I will just go there with a big sledgehammer and make sure it disappears, because it's personal. I just finished Popeye's fried chicken. Okay. Let's check it out. Popeye's. Oh my God. Come on, switch. Popeyes fried chicken. It looks like KFC a bit. What is the difference between Popeyes and KFC? Which one is the best? I need to know. It's very important. Bogdan, hello to Romania. Hello, my friends. Have you tasted haggis? No, I don't think so. I don't know what it is. Affirmative. Only like when I was in 10th grade of high school, but I'm not a fan at all. I think my favorite sushi is pineapple cream cheese and avocado. Pineapple cream cheese? Really? Does it even exist? Do you ever go fishing? Not anymore. I used to try. Okay, with my friend Mirko. So one time I decided that I have to learn. I bought a fishing rod. I bought like wobblers. I bought all kinds of lures and stuff. And I spent a year literally standing in the water with the fishing rod and like with the spinning, actually, like making selfies for the social media. I literally caught nothing in a year. And after a year, I just threw my fishing rod and all that shit in the closet and forgot about it. I literally spent like $40 on everything. And $40 in Ukraine is a lot. There are... oh my god, I lack vocabulary. Wait. How does it call? How is it called? Feeder. Feeder. Yeah. So I've been told that actually I'm doing it wrong because I can buy feeder. I can throw it into the river and leave it there and just do my stuff until it rings. Okay? And I agree this is like the proper way of catching fish. A lot of people in Ukraine catch fish using feeder. 100%. But if you do something, you do something. If you're catching fish, you're catching fish. You need to stay there in the water, balls deep, I mean in the water, okay? You need to stay there and do something. You need to participate in the process. Because otherwise it's like as simple as just, going to the grocery store and buying like fish. Okay, so you need to be involved in the process. And I tried to, and I failed all the time. In the morning, we went to the river with this guy on a boat, and we have same spinnings. My wobbler is like green fish, and his is like white fish, but they're the same. And we're going down the river on the like minimum speed, just trawling the spinnings. He caught 2 pikes. I caught nothing, and I was so mad. And like he made, of course, like pictures, there's 2 pikes, He told me like sometimes it happens because if you have like green feeder, the wobbler, and then you have like also green wobbler but with like tiny red dot on it, sometimes pike would pick this one instead of the other one. Sometimes it works because of the color, sometimes for other reason, but I don't know. My lure, yeah, it was green, it failed, and in the end, I believe it all finished when I tried to cast, and it went all the way into the branches and stuck there, and I literally cut the wire, and I was like, fuck it, I won't be fishing anymore. Since that time, I'm not fishing. One time, I literally had like a sunstroke because it was plus 35. I was sitting on the bank catching fish for like 3 hours, literally. And guys, I was a former sergeant. I am the guy who runs around his babies, yeah, his boys, and screams, "Do you have water with you? Why don't you have enough water? You have to drink plenty. Show me your hydrator. Why you don't have enough water?" You know, I am the dude who does that, who did it, and I took no water with me that day. So I literally had like a sunstroke. I nearly died on my way back to home because I had to cycle like 6 kilometers probably. I stopped 3 times to buy ice cream because there were no place to find like anything to drink. And I felt like I was shutting down. I had like this tunnel vision. I had goosebumps, even though it was plus 35 outside, and I had goosebumps. I was shivering, like, you know. So I went home. I took like cold shower. I fell asleep. I woke up next day, and I realized that sometimes fishing like can be pretty much extreme. Okay, but generally it's like when you're stupid. Fishing is not a hot weather activity unless you are in the US. I agree on that because the reason I went to that river, it wasn't even a river, it was like a lake, which is even worse. But the reason I went there is because I conducted reconnaissance and I learned that in this lake, people discovered a lot of carps. So I think there were carps. I think there were carps. So I decided to go and catch them until, before it's too late. But I failed. This community is so awesome. Neil, this community is the best. I've turned up late for the party again. Don't worry, have your beverage and relax with us. I have this stuff, Fusey tea. We have the same. Come on, focus. We have the same in Ukraine, and this one with the peach is like my favorite. Yeah, and Sean here, like, he's 100% right. I disagree. You can catch fish in hot water, in hot weather, 100%. Also, you cannot catch fish if you are operator Starsky for some reason, despite weather, you know. But generally, yeah, generally it's true. You gotta catch fish. And guys, I'm not going to advise you on catching fish because I never caught any. But listen to Sean. He knows what he's talking about. Disco San Andreas, hello, my friend. Yeah, it's really, really beautiful in Kursk, Oblast of Ukraine. Cheers. Fishing without beer is a useless activity. I also agree on this one because if you don't catch anything, at least you had a beer and a good time. Oh my god. Have you ever been to the USA? I've been to the USA in 2008, specifically Washington, D.C. I know like everything about the downtown because that's where I worked and lived for a while. We have red lemonade, can't get it in Britain. Red lemonade. Oh. Nice. What does carp taste like? I would tell you had I caught at least one, but I wasn't lucky. When are you coming to Florida? As soon as I get visa, my friend. As soon as I do. Hello, Nakin Fatsuri. Hello, my bro. I was in Ukraine in 2008, and I was in the United States in 2008. I believe I even have a picture. I had hair. Can you imagine that? Guys, we have a legend in the chat. Also, red lemonade great with Southern Comfort. I should try. Coming to my house for mashed potatoes. Nice. Mashed potatoes taste well with things like fish. So maybe, I don't know, I will hire somebody to catch some for me. Can be boring. Adam, now I really consider it boring because I never caught any fish. Carp is considered a trash fish. We have a lot of carnivorous fish, predatorous fish. I just don't know the names in English. I would tell you otherwise. Pikes, like pikes. We have plenty of pikes, and sometimes they're like very, very big. We want a picture from operator Starsky with hair. Let's see if I have it here, because oh my god. Come on, where are my photos? I found one, but it's not with hair. It's with a duck instead of a hair. Okay, it's from those times when I was a civilian, right? But I used duck instead of a hair, like back in those days, because sometimes weather in Ukraine can be really, really cold. Okay. It was my imaginary friend who thought that something like grew from his bottom accidentally. I don't know. Yeah. But I was literally looking at this picture, like literally today, guys. Just give me 1 second, please. Let me find it. Because I was looking at it. Okay, those army. No, my friend. Next time, on my next stream, I promise. Oh, I have a cool one. I have a really, really cool one. Come on, send it. I have a really, really, really cool one. You wanna see me with the hair? You got it. So, that is me with the hair on the right. On the left, it's like 2012. On the right, it's like 1989, probably. And you know, some people who like music instruments, they are crazy about like Soviet music instruments. So I tell you this, Soviet music instruments suck balls big time. They're like the worst thing you can imagine. That shed on the right is a bass guitar, I believe used by my father in his band, because he played too. And it sucked so, like, there was no sound coming from it whatsoever. So... Starsky was a cute kid. Yes, I was a kid. I wasn't born like this. Oh, a few days ago was my birthday. Happy belated birthday, sir. It's a pleasure. Long years and good health too. You kinda, yeah. Kinda, yeah. I started listening to like rock when I was 9 or something, maybe even earlier. It was Iron Maiden and Scorpions. I remember that. Bass can have 6 strings. We were talking about Soviet bass, of course. 1989, I was doing my basic training. Ah, that is interesting. 1989. 1989, I was literally training, you know, to deploy toy soldiers, like on my desk. Nothing to brag about here. Did you happen to go to the 930 Club in DC? We need to hook Starsky up with the US tour. 930 Club. I remember there was this Black Orchid Club. You know, like this amazing like strip place. It was really cool. It was really cool. I was a really generous donator, really generous client there, because I didn't know that the dancer will not be mad if I give her like $1 instead of 20, because, you know, I still had this Ukrainian tradition, so I spent all of my money there. Probably that's why they liked me so much. Do you still play music? In fact, I do. And for example, in my previous video, when you hear like metal playing in the intro and in the end of the video, that is my stuff, because I decided that instead of like finding free music on the internet, I can literally make it myself. So I used one of my old tracks, and some of the viewers were highly dissatisfied with that. They criticized it because they said like, what's that cheap music playing in the video? So I decided not to use this track anymore, because apparently it sucks. Ginger New. Oh, Ginger New song. I gotta check it out. Thank you so much. In 1989, I was 28. I was 28 like 11 years ago. I'll take you to the dollhouse in Tampa. Deal, buddy. Deal. Let's do it. What was that? Did my basic training in 1984. That is like a year before I was born even. I love a couple of Ukrainian metal bands. They are amazing. Not sure if you know Space of Variations and Space of Variations. Just check them out. They're good. In 1999, I was 6 years old. I was 4. Bass guitar can have 4, 6, or 8 strings. I think if it has 8 strings, it's called like gent guitar. As far as I know, gent guitar is it's something out of this world. Drudg is great Ukrainian black metal band. I've heard about them. There's so like if you are into like melancholic doom black metal, you can check out Nocturnal Mortum. Rammstein is definitely best. I freaking love them. And Till Lindemann is known for helping Ukrainian refugees big time, which was something unexpected, but it was a good surprise. As a fellow metalhead, I liked your track in the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was checking some of my older tracks. Like, you know, they always inspire me to start making music again, but maybe next year. When are you going on the shows again? Maybe tomorrow, but tomorrow we have some plans for the evening, so I'm not 100% sure. Hello, Australia. Telecaster. So, regarding Telecaster, they are good. Generally, Fender guitars are really good if you use them with Fender equipment. Something that I noticed is that if you are using like Fender guitar with Fender amp, or like Fender bass guitar with Fender amp, sounds freaking amazing. But if you try to plug your like Gibson, I had Gibson Les Paul, into a Fender amp, the sound will suck no matter what you do. So Fender it's like Apple, you know, it's like Apple products. Like iPhone works well with your like MacBook or iPad, like it works perfect. You can make all kinds of like Apple environment, but try, I don't know, send files from your Android to Apple and you will understand. Yeah, I had. Oh my god, I will show you this one because I have it right here. Oh yeah, you gonna love it. You gonna totally love it. So this is when I just bought the guitar. I was like a member of this Les Paul forum, which I still receive notifications from, even though I don't have guitar anymore. Okay, but I had that shit. I'm like 20 something, 21, 22 on the photo. Yeah, it looked so like it sounded amazing. It was Gibson Les Paul Menace with like this brass like fist on the riff, you know, that part of the guitar. Sound was amazing. The pickups were like not active; they were passive pickups, but they sounded so good. So I miss this guitar very, very much. I had a custom-made Fender Strat with a Sun Battle lead amp and with about 8 different effect pedals. Oh, I had Line 6 processor. Again, it was really, really cool. I had Line 6 processor. I had like with like 8 pedals, I believe. I had Marshall, was it Marshall? Marshall amp. It was good, yeah. Which do you miss more, that guitar or your hair? You know, I played this guitar even when I lost my hair, so I think it's guitar. Hair is eh. I save money on shampoo big time. Oh, that is cool. That is so cool. Ah, 84 Hammer Stevens model, a couple Fenders. I enjoy jazz. Do you play jazz? If you play jazz, you have my respect. It's something that I find as hard as playing like grindcore, because you have to have specific mentality that I don't have. I listen to jazz and I listen to grindcore, but I could never play any. They're just too. Yes, they're complicated, but at the same time, you have to have a vision. You look 100% like my ex-boyfriend. Really? I think your ex-boyfriend looks like me. Oh, yeah, I support this comment with my whole heart. Do you go to gigs where you are? So I'm missing gigs. The other day, we were sitting with my friends, and I was like, we were discussing Space of Variations. Space of Variations, check them out. Razor Blade is my favorite track. Tibet is my favorite track. You gotta check them out. So I was sitting with my friend here and we were talking about Space of Variations, and I'm like, bro, they're touring around the world like crazy. They raise awareness for Ukraine and stuff. And we gotta check when they visit Germany. And while we were sitting and discussing this, they were playing in my city. And I returned home, I checked, I realized that they were like 2 kilometers away. Oh my god, I just didn't know what to do. I've been to their concert. It's when where I broke my rib for the first time in a mosh pit. It was really cool. I played a derpy version of the Imperial March on trumpet every time. I played Imperial March during our patrols in 2015. We were patrolling like Мар'їнка, Красногорівка, Курахове, Верхньоторецьке. Guys, I finally remember the name of the town that I couldn't remember. So I was patrolling it, and I had literally like my tablet playing the Imperial March very, very loudly. And it was really, really funny. And also on a Halloween, we were wearing masks. I think I showed you those. They looked so creepy. If not, I will show it right now. Where is it? Ah, here. So, we were the first police battalion that celebrated Halloween. Yeah, this is how we were like going on a patrol. People loved it. People were so happy about seeing Ukrainian policemen wearing Halloween costumes. It was extremely fun, my friends. Okay. Guys, it was fun, but I don't want to steal any more of your precious time. It's 40 minutes past midnight here. And I think it's a good opportunity to say thank you for supporting my country. Thank you for being decent, honest, friendly, and open. Thank you for being the best people and the best viewers and the best friends. Guys, I will be going straight to bed. I wish you great Friday night, and we will see you next time. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.